All right, this concept I'm going to be talking about is with this 5-shot revolver, we're going to assume that we don't have any speed loaders. We don't have any speed strips, so we're going way old school here. So, what you have here is a 5-shot revolver, and the 2 method is a method that some police officers used. Some didn't, some did. And basically what that was is you would fire 2 shots and then top off 2 shots and then 2 shots, top off 2 shots. So for example, if you fired 2 shots like this, you would pluck them 2 ones out and replace them with fresh rounds here, okay? But the concept I want to talk about today is you fired all 5. So even though you probably wouldn't if you were going 2x2s, you fired all 5. So I'm going to put these rounds back in here so I can show you something here. So the 2x2 method is basically you fired all 5 shots and now you're going by 2s to survive your gunfight and using cover and stuff like that. That's the most important thing, is your cover. So what you would do is you would have a belt like this. There's three or four different things you could have. You could have them in your pocket. You could have a belt like this where you go in with your thumb, your index finger, and your middle finger. Notice how I'm grabbing them right here. Okay, that's the way it would look. And notice that when it's plucked out of the belt here, that it's exactly the same space as you would have on your cylinder. So when you grab it like this with your thumb, index finger, and middle finger, you push it in. So you'd have a belt like this with the bullets on here. Or you would have something on your hip like this, where the bullets were here and you can grab them 2x2 like this too. And these were around, back then too, also, just like the belts were. And then you have what they call a dump pouch. This is a Crossman pellet pouch here. But this is a backwards version of a dump pouch. You got the bullets in here. You would open this up, grab a couple, throw them in. And you would try to lay the bullets in so that the lead was facing this direction here. And then, of course, you've got the dump pouch that was upside down like this, where on the bottom you would have a place where you can grab rounds or whatever. So, but I want to put these 2 aside right here, and I want to talk about the belt for now. So you got a belt. You're not reaching in your pocket, but let's say you're reaching for your belt. Or you can assume that you're reaching in your jacket or pocket and you've got loose ammo and you don't have a belt. You can think of it that way too. So what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to show you on a 5-shot revolver. We've just fired 5 shots, okay? And we got them shells out. Notice how I'm holding the revolver. My index finger and my thumb on a 5-shot revolver here are within the flutes. What that does is these flutes brings me at the 3 o'clock position right here. And the 3 o'clock position port that's where I'm going to start loading. So once again, I'm going to grab with my thumb, index finger, and middle finger. And here I've got the rounds. I'm putting them in, okay? I'm putting them in like that. So we got 3 o'clock right there, okay? Now what I'm doing is I'm using the flutes to guide that chamber so that it ends up on the top. And then I fire 2 rounds. Okay, them shells are done. Then I do the same thing over and over again. Put 2 in. Find that empty chamber. Put 2 in. Find the empty chamber. And I'll just keep doing it till I run out of snap caps here for you. So just imagine if you if you were in a gunfight or something and you didn't have time and you were behind cover, you could have a couple rounds for each piece of cover that you were going to, trying to get a good position where you could load more ammo than just 2 rounds. But 2 rounds can cover you quickly, topping it off this way. It can cover you quickly, granted that you use them wisely. So obviously you'd have a thing going on where say you're a police officer or a private citizen, where your cover's here and you know what's around your cover because you're looking a little bit around your cover, and you notice that the attackers are further away, and you notice that you've only got 2 rounds loaded. Well, you can top them rounds off, and get all 5 in. And once again, I'm not talking about speed strips and speed loaders. I'm talking about going by 2s. 2x2s, they call it. So another example, I've already showed you the belt here, so you guys understand that part. But I'm going to line these up again so I can show you what I'm talking about here once again. Okay, so we dumped these 5 out. We've fired all 5 because we had to use all 5. Let's say we did that, even though you might only use a couple and pluck a couple out. Okay, once again, your thumb, your index finger and middle finger. See how I got them? And notice my fingers using the flutes here also to guide that chamber so I can fire them 2 shots. No mistakes. You just keep doing it till you don't make any mistakes. That's basically all you have to do it. That's all you have to do it like, is just making sure you don't make any mistakes. And you got plenty of snap caps. You can practice without live ammunition, although you want to use live ammunition to do a drill like this, just to get a feel of what it would be like if you did run out of speed strips and speed loaders, which would be very rare, but you never know. You could be in one of them U.S. bank gunfights or something where you need a lot of ammunition, but a lot of people would probably go back to their car. And I believe in having something in the car too, extra ammo or an AR-15 or something, so that you can go back to the car if you needed to. You can fight your way back to the car with this and then get the good stuff from the car, that kind of thing. So once again, I want to go over it for you. So we're assuming that the police officer or the private citizen, the reason why I'm saying police officer is because 2x2s was a popular thing that police officers used to use back then. Now, not all of them, okay, but the ones that I know did. And I've talked to these police officers. I've seen their guns, and I've seen them draw for me and load revolvers and stuff like that. So I'm talking about guys that were around before we had speed strips and speed loaders. Okay, so here we go. Okay, rather than firing 2 shots where you would pluck 2 out, put 2 new in, let's say that you just went for it and you fired all 5. Fired all 5, okay. 6, 7. 8, 9. 10, 11. 12, 13. 14, 15. 16, 17. 18, 19. Okay, so the hardest part about this loading isn't the flutes, It isn't the flutes and it isn't the rounds that you're putting in. The hardest part about loading this is making sure that this chamber here ends up right here. And notice my index finger and my thumb where the flutes are at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll it in. I'm not going to spin it, but I'm going to roll it right in. So watch how I do it. I got 2 rounds in. I got that one in 3 o'clock position because that's the natural position I have when I have my index finger and my thumb in the flutes. So I'm always going to have a 3 o'clock position there. So all I simply have to do is walk this up straight. Think of it as going straight up in the air. That's all you have to do. Okay. Think of it as straight up in the air. Okay. Think of going to the ceiling with it. Think of that. You're pushing it up towards the ceiling. See that? Push up to the ceiling. Push up to the ceiling. Push up to the ceiling. Every time. See? You get it right every time. No mistakes are allowed at all on that step right there. No mistakes is what we want. No mistakes at all, because that's the hardest part. If you can beat that part, you got it made. You know what I mean? And it just takes just a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you get used to it, you'll be up to line up that hole, no problem. So going like this.